Welcome back to the AI Optimized podcast, the show where we interview entrepreneurs each week to uncover their journey, their strategies, and the AI powered optimization solutions they want to implement to build smarter and more efficient companies. Today, we have the pleasure to welcome a true leader in the residential construction space. He's the vice president of Headstrong Homes, a Canadian company operating in the GTA specialized in full home renovations, custom builds, and now increasing in legal suites and affordable housing. One of the fastest growing segments in the Canadian housing market. With nearly 2 decades of experience, a portfolio ranging from full gut renovation to elegant luxury home, and a reputation built on honesty, transparency, and realistic expectations, Andy has developed a unique approach combining craftsmanship, creativity, and a deep understanding of what families really need in today's housing environment. Hey Andy, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's ease into this. So, all right, Andy, how did you get into renovations at the beginning, and how did that turn into running your own business?
I started as a kid working for my uncle and my dad, and um, had a chance to work side by side with them for a long time. After my dad passed away, I was looking for that thing, not to work for somebody else, but to take control of my life and my own destiny, so to speak. So, talking with Forbes a bunch of years ago, I was doing some odd work, and he said, "Why don't you just do this for yourself? You're doing it already. Just start your own company." And that's how it happened. And from that point, we wanted to work together. We just didn't know what the plan was, and through his connections with real estate and everything that we were doing, we found this avenue with Headstrong.
And when you start working in the GTA, what do you notice about how builders work? How they manage projects, talk with clients, or handle schedules?
The thing we noticed most, I think, was in the permit process. You can log online and you can see open permits and things like that. And we were noticing a lot of unclosed permits through time, where projects where you drive by them on the street and they were still open, or they were finished long ago, and but the permits were still open. And if we look at any of our permits from days gone by, they're all closed because we want to make sure that the clients have that full note of everything done.
Hmm. Perfect. And let's bring it to today. For people who don't know your company, how would you describe Headstrong Homes in simple words?
We're a cost plus based company, so we use all registered trades, all insured, and we make sure that we use the best quality, best value for the dollar. Really good economically, but quality finishes as well. Um, we like to We've got our showcase home that's an 8,000 square foot house with car lifts and elevators, an elevator. It's got a gym underneath the garage, things like that that are super important to us. But the finishes in there, we
Mhm.
look for that Pinterest finish, on a little more economical side. So we try to bring that value to our customers.
Yes, and can you describe a little bit about your style as as a builder?
Uh, we ask a lot of questions, so we want to know. And sometimes it might seem like we're asking dumb questions along the way, but I mean, it all matters. If somebody wants to save a window or they want to keep their furniture at the house, we'll talk through it with them. And Sometimes it doesn't make sense to do that, but it's really question based. Finding out exactly what their dreams and desires are, what their budgets are, and work with them backwards on it. And at the end of the day, it's their decision to what they want to have, but we'll try and guide them along the way.
Yes, sure. And do you think that makes you that's your approach that makes you different from other contractors?
I think so. I worked in hospitality for 20 plus years, and my goal is always to kind of host people in their own home, give them that, let them know that I'm there to work for them. And as a company, because we hire trades in, we advocate for the homeowner because we're working for them. Even though we work with the trades all the time, we still hold them accountable to their pricing. We don't let them start running figures up because of comfort. We make sure that this is close to what you charged us on the last build, things like that. And if there are price increases, then they can at least explain it to us so we can explain it to the client.
Yes, and you said that the clients know what they want, and I think you just go with what the client really needs to build. But what type of projects do you enjoy the most?
I like the full builds where we can work right from the beginning with our designers and the engineers going through that kind of thing.
Hmm.
I enjoy my specialty, quite honestly, is the oddities, hidden doorways, shoe cases or shoe racks underneath the stairs, hidden bathrooms, and monster beds, and just stuff that's out of the norm. It seems that everybody asks me for that kind of stuff, and I thrive on that because it gives me a little bit of a moment to be a bit of a Columbo and look for solutions to an issue.
Hmm. And now I want to talk a little bit about the industry. So you told me something that a lot of contractors will agree with. People see a $4 piece of lumber, but don't understand why it costs $4,000 to build a wall. So, from your point of view, what are the biggest challenges contractors face right now?
It's basically an education, making sure that when we're talking with the client, they're aware of, yeah, they can see the $4 piece of lumber at the store, but there's a lot of things that go in behind the scenes. And when we're using proper trades, they have their insurances, they have their WSIBs, they have everything in place and lined up so that not only are we providing a quality product, but it's also they stand behind their work. And that's basically it's the communication part of it, making sure that we talk it through.
Hmm. And when you talk about the thing behind the scenes, is it unrealistic expectations from clients? Are margins getting tighter? Is the admin work too heavy? Um, what do you mean by that specifically?
Uh, product is definitely prices are going up always. I mean, we see it in our groceries this year. I think in Canada we're looking at another $1,000 a year in our groceries and stuff like that, and it's just material costs across the board. We do see stuff with um, the the tariffs and different companies try and work around it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's been going on forever, so we just have to adjust and make sure that we let the clients know exactly what's happening.
And how do these kind of problems affect you, your time, your stress, or the quality of the job?
I'm always searching. Whenever I'm pricing a job, I'm always
Hmm.
looking for the most latest, greatest pricing. I usually send things out to bid now. In the beginning, I didn't have to, it was pretty standard. But now I try and sharpen the pencil a little bit more, so to speak, and make sure that I'm right on the money with pricing. We're still more cost effective than a lot of companies out there. I just priced a basement that was around $500,000 with a basement and a main floor kitchen, and they had another contractor come in at $1 million. So a $500,000 swing is a lot of money, and even in that, it's a bit of a challenge because it doesn't make it worth it to do the renovations they're looking for at that point.
Sure. And if you're all right with it, let's go deeper a little bit. Right now, you handle almost everything yourself: calls, site visits, quotes, teaching clients, follow-ups. What does that create in your daily life? Does it get stressful? Do you feel like you miss opportunities when you're busy?
I definitely do. I feel like it's a never ending loop. I'm on 24/7, and if I do take a break, I feel like I've missed something. So I'm trying my best to integrate with the scheduling apps and things like that. But there's something else out there, and I'm excited to find the newest way because our
Hmm.
project manager, I can't keep up with my project manager. They're fantastic, and they they keep running. I just need to keep running myself.
Yeah, what was there a moment you just said, "Okay, I can't run my business like this forever."
Yeah, in the last year, once we watched the interest rates go up, we saw a decline in calls, and a decline in people looking for things online. So we have to shift and adjust. And that's the nature of life, right? We always have to
Hmm.
shift and adjust and tie into the newest thing that's going to work and give us that bit of an advantage. I remember working with my uncle at 15, 16 years old. He had his first cell phone and nobody in the area did. So anybody who called, normally they'd call a contractor and they'd have to call the office. The office would get a hold of them later that day. He could answer his calls in the moment. And he was always looking for the newest advantage
Hmm.
to contracting. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at that. How do I grow and how do I find the newest, latest, greatest advantage to give us a leg up? Not that anybody else is bad, but to give us an advantage so I can take care of my family and the families of everybody that works with us.
And I want to move into real stories. So, can you share a moment where bad organization or bad communication made a project go off track? Like, do you have any example in your mind?
I do. The the one that comes to mind the most is we had a client. We were redoing her home, and at the last moment wanted to have in-floor heating put on all the floors, and we were just at that spot where we're ready to drywall and insulate and move on to get the project finished. So we had to stop at that point, run all the new water lines, all the new warm board systems, and everything that were there. So we just had to navigate and make it work for us. And just again, it's a last minute add on by the client, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But we navigate and we communicated with her. Here's what's got to happen, and then we had to make the changes within the city to make sure that they had it in their plans and things like that. So again, it just turns into a communication, making sure that everybody's aware of what's happening.
Yeah, sure. And what did you learn exactly from it?
It just added another question. Do you want the in-floor heating or not? Um, and it just every time there's a challenge like that, it gets added to my repertoire of questions that I ask clients when I'm speaking with them or potential clients when I'm speaking with them. All the things they're looking for. I try to come with a rip the band-aid off approach to pricing and then work backwards to what they're looking for.
Yeah, sure. And on the positive side, do you have any story where good systems save the project, save time, save money, or save the whole job?
Uh, Most of our projects are good stories. Can't think of
That's good.
I can't think of anything that turned it that was you know just our communication. the way we're working with people, making sure that we take care of it. Our project coordinator is on the phone with them with the clients all the time, and he takes good care of them once the
Hmm.
projects get started.
And one thing I admire about you is your honesty. I prefer telling the truth, even if the price scares the client, instead of giving a number just to get the contract. That's what you said. Where does that philosophy come from? Was it shaped by past experience? Did a mentor or a boss teach you that?
No, it came from a news clip. At the end of a news segment, there was an interviewer that would go out and chase deadbeat contractors around and say,
Hmm.
"Why have you taken this deposit from them and not paid it back?" and all that kind of stuff. And I never wanted to be that guy. I always want to make sure that um, we do our draws in a way that allows you to feel comfortable. Make sure that we're not too far ahead of what you are getting for work, like the trade off
Hmm.
value, and make sure that we do that. So it's that, and the big thing I think is if I could price them really low, I could use a $59 faucet. I could use $100 shower tap kind of thing. The issue I see with that, though, and this is just me, is that when that client goes into the Home Depot or whatever local hardware store to look at what they can pick, they only get to look at one item on the wall. And
Hmm.
that one item on the wall, they realize, well, I like the look of these ones here. They're $200. And in my head, it's a moment of, um, do you, if this is more expensive, then is everything going to be more expensive? And then that, in my head, it's a moment of doubt that comes in. And I would rather get ahead of that. Make sure that you can look at the entire wall. If you want to go to finer finishes instead of a Moen product, you want to go to a Ryobel. You're going to pay more, but we're honest about it in the beginning and making sure that we communicate that those upgrades are going to cost.
Hmm. And how does your honesty help you today with clients or partners?
Um, it's just easier not to try and remember a lie or a story you're making, right? Like
Hmm.
if you have to make something up to get by or whatever, you can get caught in a trap, and it's not worth my time and energy. I do too much already, as we talked
Sure.
about earlier. I do too much already to try and get caught in a lie. Um, it's just keeps it straight in my head.
And let's look at the market now. From your perspective, what does the construction market look like today? Are many companies still working in an old school way, do you think?
I think so. A lot of the trades are, still get up and nose to the grindstone, get out and do their thing. Don't have the ability to or desire to want to learn something new. I know it's a challenge for me as well to want to learn something new, but I know that they're to grow instead of being a company that gets by, through the year. Uh, you need to grow. You need to grow and come up with new systems. And once the systems are in place, then you have a better way of moving forward.
And do you think clients expecting more than what most companies can deliver?
I do think so. I think with Pinterest and things like that, and the Mike Holmes and Brian Balmer, the television shows, that kind of thing. Um, they see the finishes, but they don't see the cost and everything that goes in behind it. And then when you get into renovations, there's always hidden things in walls and floors, and things like that. And I still get caught out because I'll look for every telltale sign. Is it a 2x4 wall? Is it a strapping? Is it a whatever? And I'll look in different areas, and there's no boarding in a mechanical room, so I can see that it's built with 2x4s. But we get to the front rooms and it's strapped, but it's hidden behind drywall. I can't guess that because I can only look for the clues I can find without taking people's houses apart. So
Hmm.
the it's a challenge, but again, it comes back to communication. Here's what I don't know what's behind your walls. Once we get into it, we'll have to look at it. And then once we did that, not only did we find strapping on the walls, it was improper strapping and the electrical wasn't done properly. It looks like the homeowner before them did it wrong. So we brought the electricians in, again, all licensed, ESA inspections, permits for everything. So we got it all up to code and done properly.
And where do you think contractors will gain the most by modernizing? Communication, follow up, project tracking, or structure?
Uh, Structure, lead generation, it's a new time. Lead generation is a lot different than I used to get. A lot of my leads from paper ads and word of mouth. A lot of it comes from word of mouth and referrals, but I also had a thank you coupon in our local paper, and if it was a free paper to everybody in our community. And at the end of the week, when the paper boy or girl came around, if you paid them, and there was no requirement for it, but you got a thank you coupon. And I was fortunate
Mhm.
enough to be in that thank you coupon. So it helped me qualify people as well because they respect a young kid um, showing initiative and drive and trying to have a job and that kind of thing. So the money went to the kid. So it qualified them to me, saying, this is a good person. This is someone who respects that people need to work and they need to get paid for what they're doing. So um, that was a great lead generation. Now with everything online, if it's Facebook or Instagram or the neighbor network and stuff like that, there's loads of contractors jumping on there. And if I can't do that because I'm still trying to run my family, take my kids to ball, or
Mhm.
I think even on one of our calls, I was in the middle of a birthday party for my daughter. I can't make those replies right away. So if I miss it and there's already 50,
Exactly.
60 comments on there, it's lost.
Hmm. And you also told me something powerful. You want to help with affordable housing.
Yeah.
You want to build legal suites and spaces that really help families. Where does that vision come from? Was there a project or a moment that inspired these missions?
Uh, It comes from my family. Again, working with my uncle in development and different things that we were working on. We were working on senior center homes, like not seniors homes, but seniors residents and things like that back in the early 2000s, and trying to develop something that was affordable and watching the state of our economy fly. Our kids, and again, I guess it would have to be having kids now, knowing that they're going to have to buy into a market that um, is almost out of reach. And
Mhm.
it's not just my three kids, um, but it's all the kids in the school. All the kids, I see them all the time. They're out playing soccer, they're doing everything together. If we don't give them something to work with, or even families, the single moms and dads, like there's a lot of that, and making it so that it's attainable and achievable for everybody.
And what do Lego suites represent for you as a builder and as a father?
Uh, it's an income generation for a family. So if you do have a legal suite in your basement, you have all your proper fire ratings, you have everything, so your family's protected on in the main part or the secondary part of the home, and it gives an extra amount of income that you can carry on month to month, so you can cover your extra
Mhm.
$1,000 in grocery bills or whatever it is. It's a lot. I mean, the rents in Whitby are astronomical at this point in time. I have no idea how my kids would. pay for that. I can't even imagine it.
Sure. And with the new federal housing strategy, what would it mean for Headstrong Homes to win a multi-unit government project? Not only financially, but for the future of your company.
Um, Stability, I think, is what the goal is with that. I mean, uh, since I started doing this on my own, I remember the very first day sitting in a parking lot at the store. I had a job to get to, but I was just like, how do I know what the next job is? And not knowing is, I've learned to accept that the next job is coming, or the next jobs are coming, and they'll be here. Um, but that stability and the ability to grow and provide for families. I mean, all the guys that work for us and all the trades that we work with and have relationships with, um, it matters because then I know that if I can get this together, I can take care of a bunch of families, and I carry that on my shoulders and make sure that everybody's taken care of and is happy for the next whatever 4 or 5 years, and work on the next plan.
And Andy, since this is the AI optimized podcast, we have to talk a little bit about AI. So, right now, you handle every lead, every follow up, every quote, every schedule. Where do you think AI or automation could help you the most? Booking meetings automatically, qualifying leads, helping with quotes, the coordination projects. What?
I think you hit the nail on the head, all of it. I think AI has an exceptional lead into what we need going forward, and grateful to you know have had you guys reach out and walk me through learning what I have to do. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that once I know a bit about something, I have to dig down and read about it and understand it a little bit more. And it's a big widget to fill. It's talking about AI is just like talking about marketing. There's so many nuances to it that
100%.
yeah, and I appreciate how much goes into it now. Yeah, it's and what it could do for us as a company is out of this world. It would alleviate time. It would give me a little bit more time with my family, with the lead generation, a little less stress on when does that next job come, like we just talked about, stuff like that. So allow us to grow and feel a little bit of security.
And if you could automate just one thing tomorrow morning, what would it be?
If I was doing one thing tomorrow, lead generation, probably.
And let's end with something more personal. You run projects, clients, emergencies, budgets. It's a lot. How do you exactly handle the pressure? Are you able sometimes to just disconnect some and or is it 24/7?
I do have to disconnect. I have guilty pleasures on TV where I'll go and shut down and watch, you know, Below Deck Mediterranean or something like that. It reminds me of my days in the Caribbean, living a life and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a shutdown, or I spend time with my kids, taking my kids to Taekwondo and knowing that I can't be on all the time. I mean, that's a quality that is hard for a lot of people to take on, and I have that ability to turn it off at times.
And what's the big vision you're chasing for the next few years?
The big vision is stability, making sure that we can create a stable contracting company that runs itself, and it will keep growing on its own, um, but still stay boutique-ish enough that we can um, work with individuals and make sure they're getting what they want. And we're not just doing cookie cutter across the board. Working with those, I want a hidden cabinet here, or I want to do something under the stairs where I've got a car simulator under the basement stairs that nobody knows about, and you open the door and there it is, or stuff like that. So stability is a huge thing, and making sure that we grow the company to take care of the families that we care about.
Andy, thank you again for being with us today. It was a pleasure. It was an honest and grounded conversation filled with insights that I know a lot of entrepreneurs will relate to.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you again, Charles.
Yes, I appreciate your openness, your experience, and everything you shared. Thank you, Andy. Have a great one.
You too.
And to everyone listening, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this episode, take 2 seconds to like and subscribe to the AI Optimized podcast. Share the episode with a business owner it could help, or leave us a review. It really helps us to continue bringing conversation of this quality. And remember, you don't have to run your business manually. AI and automation are not luxuries anymore. They're real competitive advantages. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for another episode filled with real stories, real strategies, and concrete solutions to optimize your business. Have a great week, everyone.